we're introducing you to a really common way to have lunch in Malaysia, but this restaurant has over 80 options to choose from. You have got to check out the selection they have. I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate. We hope you're hungry. Let's eat. We have come to a kampung or village in the middle of Kuala Lumpur to this restaurant which has a ton of traditional Malay dishes. There are over 80 dishes we are told to choose from, and we are so excited to get in. Sambal Hijau, where we're eating, has these giant plates that you load up with rice, and then there is honestly such an array of dishes. There's over 80 dishes to choose from. This is going to be really difficult. You okay? I am so excited about my plate. It is impossible not to be dazzled when you're up there because there is just so much to choose from. Every kind of protein imaginable, so many different types of salads and cooked vegetable dishes. It's just blow your mind. You basically just grab your plate, load it up with rice, and then load it up with whatever you like the look of, and then the staff will come over to your table once you're ready to go and calculate how much your plate costs. But back down to what I have got on my plate. Alright, so I've got a coconut, bean and bean sprout type of salad. This is a mystery vegetable cooked in a gravy. I have no idea what it is, so we'll have to try it and find out. Got some fresh cucumber and their house sambal, which is Sambal Hijau, which means green sambal. I've got some sambal eggplant that's been cooked down and it looks so tender. A sambal sardine, a fried sardine. I've got a bunch of ikan bilis, which are anchovies, and they've been fried up with some onions and some chili. And I've also got a salted duck egg on the side to add a little bit of savouriness and hint of saltiness to my plate. And then right in the middle here, this sort of clear wobbly thing is beef tendon, and it's been cooked in what looks like a creamy gravy. Oh my gosh.
Like Sheena talked about, the choice is overwhelming up the front. It's so hard to know what to take because there's so many options. But look at the size of these plates. It's hard to explain how big they are. So you inevitably get a lot more than you were expecting. But on my plate, I've loaded up with obviously the rice in the center. This is cassava leaves, which are cooked in a masak lemak chili api, which is a coconut sort of gravy. I've got some wing beans, which is just a vegetable that adds a bit of crunch, hopefully, to the dish. I have this chicken drumstick, which looks like it's cooked in kicap manis, which is a sweet soy sauce with then chilies as well. So I'd say that's going to have a really sweet and spicy sort of thing going on. This is a bergedel, which is a deep fried potato rosti, really, so that's just going to add a different element again. I have some sambal paru or sambal lung, so that will be beef lung, and you can see all the chili on there, so the sambal that's being cooked in. And that completes my dish. It was so hard to come up with this selection.
I'm going to start with the beef tendon. This was the big ticket item on my plate. I think for this portion here it was about 14 ringgit, which is quite pricey, but hopefully it tastes so good that it's worth it. So I'm just going to pick a little bit of it up. Wow, look, I've barely touched it and it just falls away. It is so tender. I'm going to have a little bit of white rice with that and just give that a go. If you've never eaten tendon before, wow, that's a good place to start, this dish right here. It's really soft, almost gelatinous, and that must have been cooked for so long because you didn't even need teeth to eat that. Incredible. Now, I'm going to give these ikan bilis, which is small fried anchovies ago, and they've been fried with some onion and some chili. I think they'll add a nice bit of crunch to my plate of food here. So let's give that a go with a bit of white rice. Crunchy, they have a bit of chew, and that onion that's been cooked with it is really sweet. Now to go with my dish, I've got a half a salted duck egg. So salted egg is, as its name suggests, super salty. And it sort of just punctuates the food with a bit of savouriness and saltiness. So I'm going to get a little bit of that. Don't eat it all in one go. Just pull off a little tiny piece and then mix it in with your mouthfuls. So I'm going to take a bit of the salted duck egg and eat another piece of that tendon with the rice. Oh wow, that duck egg, the yolk is really creamy, a little bit grainy, and it is very salty. That was beautiful.
Time for me to dive into my plate. I'm going to start with this burgadil, so this potato. I mean, I called it a rosti, but I guess it's more like a croquette because, as you can see, it's got stuff inside. So I can see some, I think, spring onions, and it's quite yellow actually. If you can see inside there, this might be sweet potato. Let's see, we'll just try some of that by itself. So normally you'd mix it with other things, but... It is so good. The crispiness on the outside is super thin, so it's got a little crunch from that on the outside. I think it is potato. It's not very sweet. So it's, even though it's yellow, I think it's just potato. Let's try some more. So we've got the paru, or the lung. So that beautiful sambal on there, the lung. Let's grab it with a bit of rice and just give it a go. It's got bite, but it's quite soft, so it's easy to eat, not chewy at all. The flavor's not too strong of lung. Sometimes organs and whatnot can have that very much like in its taste. But this just tastes like a meat. It's very nice. And that sambal's not hot at all actually. It's really good. Now, the one that's sort of intriguing me is this chicken actually, because it looks very simple. It doesn't look like, it's not an exciting dish as such. It's just a chicken and some sauce, but let's rip some off. So look, I've just got a little piece of chicken, but it just came away so easily. And let's grab some of this sauce, which is really thick. Some of that rice, some of those chilies. See how it goes. That's just as I was hoping. Really got a really nice sweetness, that thick sauce. The chili that I had in that was actually really hot. It really had a like chili kick to it. That's burst in the back of my mouth. And what I love about this style of eating is we've just tried things individually at the moment, but we'll start to combine these flavors and our rice will become full of the sambals and all sorts of things that are going on our plate. But that was a really good first little taste.
Malay food is really exciting for us because where we come from in New Zealand and where we lived prior to travelling in Australia, you just don't get this type of food. If you're watching from overseas, let us know in the comments below if that's the same in your countries. Can you get this type of traditional local Malay food where you come from? And whilst you're down there, we would love you to subscribe for heaps more food adventures. Alright, time to keep eating. This mystery vegetable is intriguing. It looks a little bit like artichoke, but you know, I have a sneaky suspicion that in fact it is jackfruit, or nangka, which is the Malay word for jackfruit. Let's just give it a go. I'm just going to eat it with a little bit of rice, so get some of that gravy. It is. It's jackfruit, and it's so tender and soft. It's been cooked in this really light coconut gravy with, I think, turmeric, which has given it that yellow colour. But that is so interesting because we have only ever had jackfruit in Malaysia as a fruit. So it's just, well, it is a fruit, but you know, just sweet or as is. And eating that in a savoury dish totally changes the flavour profile. It's fascinating. It actually has the texture of artichoke. Alright, I'm going to give this sardine a go. So there were lots of whole fish up there that you could grab, all sorts of different types of fish. I just went for the sardine because I love sardines. They're such a great, I reckon, a really underrated fish. Quite strong in flavour. So what I'm going to do is just pull a bit of that meat apart. Still got a few bones, so to be careful of that. And then just have it with a little bit of this rice. Just beautifully fried. It's got that sambal on it, to that chili, which isn't too spicy, but it adds a nice little mellow kick. That's really good.
We really wanted to show this style of eating in the video today because this is a really common way to eat when you're in Malaysia. And this restaurant has so many dishes. I mean, over 80 dishes to choose from, which is much more than you'll normally find. But this style of restaurant is quite normal. You'll often find lots of people, just like now, packed into these restaurants at lunchtime, loading up the rice, loading that up with whatever they want on top. Things, you know, like, and really diverse. You've got these wing beans, which they just add a real freshness and a crunch to your mouthful. You can soak your rice in whatever gulai or gravy you want from up in all that selection. And you've just got great things. Like, look how incredible the plate looks. It's just full of so much stuff. I got lots of sauce with this chicken, so I can really mix that through. I've got onions and chilies and rice. Sweet from the sauce, a little bit sweet from the onion, pick from the chili. It's so much fun to eat this way because you can create your own lunch basically and have what you really want. Like these cassava leaves here, you know, like cooked in that coconut gravy, so you've just got a green but in such an interesting way of doing it. So let's just try a bunch without any rice really, just by themselves. They've got such a freshness, a tiny bit of bitterness, really spicy with chili. That gravy that's on top of that, but very coconutty too, a really fresh coconut taste. I just love the style of eating. And like Sheena mentioned, let us know, like, do you get to eat like this where you're from if you're outside of Malaysia? Or even if it's not Malay food, does your country have this style of eating? Because it is the best way to eat.
Alright, lunch is done, our bellies are full, but not full enough that we can't fit in dessert. And there are so many desserts that you can choose from at Sambal Hijau. There's a couple of fridges and there's also some desserts that are piled up on the counter. Now we bumped into some lovely subscribers while we were at lunch and they very kindly bought us a couple of desserts to try, especially because they know that I'm obsessed with pandan. So we've got this sum here to try. It's pandan flavoured at the top there, and then I think it might be coconut, and then that dark brown colour down the bottom suggests that it's probably gula melaka or a coconut palm sugar flavour. I think it is made out of rice flour, so it's quite wobbly. Let's just dig in. Oh, look at that. Whoa. I'm going to go right to the bottom so I can get like the trifecta of flavours. Wow. Alright. That looks like the perfect mouthful. Let's go for it. Oh. So good. It's like a porridge almost, a really silky, creamy porridge. So that is indeed coconut in the middle, and then that like sweet, almost smoky coconut palm sugar flavour of syrup down the bottom, and then this top bit is pandan flavoured. So if you've never had pandan is really popular in Southeast Asia. It's used to flavour a lot of desserts and rice and whatnot, and it's made from a leaf. It almost tastes like vanilla, like a tropical vanilla. That is really tasty and the perfect way to finish off this lunch.
I'm trying the other dessert that they gave us, and we're not sure what this one is called, so let us know if you know, but it's got coconut milk, this almost dumpling, which is like pandan and rice flour, I'd say, and then inside is coconut and gula melaka, or palm sugar syrup. And this thing is incredible, the soft, silky texture. It's not actually too sweet. Really good. Lunch done and so good. I absolutely loved everything on my plate. Had a great time, and that experience, like we talked about, is so much fun. And you've got all that food to choose from. The place is rammed with people. It's a really cool experience, and gosh, there is some good food to be had when you eat that way.
You definitely have to sample traditional Malay local dishes like this when you're in Malaysia. Remember to give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. We hope we inspired you to eat and explore like a traveller, not a tourist. We'll see you next time. Jumpa lagi!
Jumpa lagi!